What's up, guys? It's your boy aijalonwallace. Welcome back to the channel. So I want to talk to you about my experience, how I almost got robbed in Bogota, Colombia. So I just got to Colombia a few weeks ago. So one of the situations was an Uber ride and the other one was a first date. Okay, so I'm gonna talk to you about the Uber ride. I actually ordered the Uber at 3 o'clock in the morning to fly to Medellin. Went outside when I was loading up the truck and I put everything in the truck and the driver just drove off. This is like 3 o'clock in the morning. And it's kind of was my fault for not just being so careless, because I had to go back and get like at least one more luggage that I left, and then he just went off for like 20-30 minutes. Had the cops like call this guy, 3 or 4 times, letting him know like, look, we got your license plates, we got everything, man, you need to bring this guy's stuff back. I'm running late for the airport as well. I was going crazy because my laptop was in that truck. Everything else I didn't really care about. I didn't care about the clothes, I didn't care about none of that other stuff. I was just like, man, my laptop, my livelihood, this guy has my laptop, And, when he came back, I was heated, I was pissed. I got my shit out the car, and then I ordered another Uber and went to the airport. So one thing I will say, if you guys are, taking an Uber at 12 or 1 or 3 a.m. in the morning, just be mindful. Make sure I will leave 2 doors open, screenshot your drivers and the information, because Uber, the communication channels, is horrible here in South America. It's really bad. That was just one crazy story, okay? Now to my first date in Colombia. It was like where I felt I almost was about to get robbed. So pretty much first date, I matched with this woman on, I believe it was Bumble or Tinder. It was a great conversation. It was very fast. It was instant. We had a good conversation. I was like, yo, let's grab dinner. She was like, cool. And I was like, so where would you like to eat? And she was like, so-and-so steakhouse. I was like, oh, wow. I'm like, well, I'm not a big red meat eater. You got any other recommendations? And she recommended another place. So she kind of like followed up with me like, yo, you gonna get my Uber? So I was like, yeah, send me your address, So I got her Uber to the restaurant. She gets to the location and it's closed. So there's other restaurants on the street. I think we were going to some restaurant called Gum Roll, I don't know. So we get down on that street and there's other restaurants on the street, like right next door. But she decides to go to the most expensive restaurant on the street, right across the street. So I'm like, oh, really? I'm like, oh, really? This is how we doing it, So she goes to the most expensive restaurant across the street. She's like, I'm across the street. I'm up here. Meet me up here. I'm like, all right. So when I get in the restaurant, them street smarts. I'm from the hood, guys. Don't let this fool you. I grew up in the hood. Okay, so I got a lot of street smarts. So when I get there, she's talking to 2 people. One guy allegedly is like American, but he has this fake ass aluminum foil chain on, and he's sitting next to another woman. Okay. Now she's like, oh, I made friends because you were 20 minutes late, so I made some friends. And I'm like, well. Pimping has been increasing in Colombia. You got to read the room. You got to read the energies as well. So as soon as I sit down, not even 5 minutes, she orders the most expensive thing on the menu, the prime steak. I'm like, oh, this is like 5 minutes of me sitting down. She's ordering the most expensive thing on the menu, and she's ordering another expensive ass drink. I'm like, damn, I ain't even had a drink yet. She's on her second drink. And I'm just like, man, the vibes, the flags, this red flags, the vibes are not there. I'm just like, yo, this ain't feeling right. You know what I mean? And you got to trust your gut, in a lot of situations. So remember the 2 couples that she was talking to, I was sitting right next to the woman and the guy was on the other side. The woman goes to the bathroom and the guy like slides over a little bit where she was sitting at, the woman that went to the bathroom, and was pretending to be on the phone as if he was trying to hear in on our conversation. And I'm looking out the side of my eye. I'm looking at this. I'm looking at this guy. I'm like, oh, this ain't right. You know what I mean? And I'm like, this ain't right. So I'm feeling the vibe. I'm like, yo, let me go to the bathroom real quick. I play this fool. I'm like, let me run to the bathroom. I'll be right back. Saw security. I'm like, yo, hey, yo. I'm in the bathrooms outside the door. I'm like, yo, in my Google Translate, I'm like, yo, go give me that check discreetly, get me out of here. He brought the manager out here because Colombians love talking about everything. If there's a fucking problem, Colombians want to talk about it. I'm like, listen, I don't want to talk about it. I'm like, look. Here, look, 50 for you, 50 for you. Get me the fuck out of here. Here's 200 for the bill. you, get me out of here. They both like, they got me on the back of the elevator and they snuck me out, and I got an Uber like instantly, and I got up out of there and I left her at the restaurant. And I was just like, listen, man, this is Colombia. Do not like play around with your life. If you feeling like it's bad vibes, if you feeling like you about to be set up, you know, I'm like, listen, I'm not even gonna chance it. And it's a million women here. I immediately got out of that situation so fast, man. Blocked the girl from everything. It just went on about my life, you know? And I had a couple dates since then. They've been perfectly fine. You know what I mean? I'm just saying that was my situation. The vibes were not there. It looked sketchy as hell. Like I said, my man sliding over to listening to our conversation more. She's talking to two people. The guy was like, you know, he told me he was American. He's like, oh man, you know, I'm from New York, but I live in Atlanta. What up, brother? And I'm like, nah. I'm like, dude, you're like, you got this fake ass aluminum foil chain on. You dressing like the 1960s. I'm like, dude, you, I don't know what type of pimping shit you on, but I ain't one of those guys that about to get finessed out here. You know, you ain't about to finesse no sucker. I'm not no sucker. So I got out of that situation. I'm not gonna let those incidents discourage me, or, you know, I'm just moving more carefully. I'm doing more thorough research in regards to the, you know, the Uber ride. Like I said, next time I probably would just leave a couple doors open. I would make sure all my stuff is by the car when I'm packing it up, you know, and in the situation of the dating situation, I probably would just do a little bit more vetting next time to protect myself. But listen, if you like this channel, man, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you want me to talk about. Let me know what you want me to go do. I am going to be going out to the city soon. I'm going to be exploring, so I know you guys want to sightsee, but I love making these one-on-one videos. It feels like, you know, we're just having a conversation. So listen, I appreciate you guys' support. Can't wait to talk to you soon. All right.